My name is Lindsey and I am a student in Dr. Strange's EDM 310 course at the University of South Alabama. I cannot believe that the semester is finally over and coming to an end. At times it seemed like it was flying by, and at other times I thought it would never end. But the end is here, and that means the end of EDM 310 is also near. There were many rumors about this course, and I chose not to listen to them because I wanted to enter the course with an open mind. But I have to say that the first email I got from Dr. Strange was a bit intimidating. I was a bit overwhelmed when I first saw all that I would complete in this course. But now at the end, after completing all that I did, it does not seem nearly as overwhelming. From the start of this course, I found that setting aside time solely for EDM purposes was essential. Because this course does not meet every week in person, it can be easy to push aside and essentially forget the work or procrastinate on it. Just because you do not meet in class does not mean you spend less time on the work. It really means you spend more. When Dr. Strange said you needed 9 hours a week, I thought he was a bit crazy. And I kind of thought he was joking that, I may end up spending 4 or 5. But no, I ended up spending 9+ hours every week working on EDM work. But that isn't just because I was working on EDM work. I found myself wandering on other sites and learning more about it because I was curious and intrigued by the work I was already reading, which really isn't a bad thing, and it's kind of the purpose Dr. Strange wants us to go further, and he wants us to be curious. I have to be honest though, I did not necessarily go into this course with an open mind. I was kind of skeptical. Dr. Strange would really have to convince me that the technology stuff in the classroom was all that he was making it out to be. But through the work in this course, I now have a different outlook on the way I plan to teach. I fully believe that because of the information I've learned in this course, I will be a better teacher. I have learned to have more of an open mind when it comes to being an educator. The way I think is correct to teach, or I learn the material, is not necessarily how my students are going to learn best. We're in a different age now, and these students learn in different ways, and they learn through different pieces of technology. I have typically been a self-motivated person that is curious and intrigued and wants to know more. But this class taught me to have even more respect for learning and becoming a lifelong learner. How to find tutorials even if I didn't understand how to work a program, or to ask questions if I was confused. At first I was afraid and a bit intimidated. I didn't want Dr. Strange or his staff to think that I couldn't do it or I wasn't doing it on my own, I wasn't looking deep enough. But I learned that they really did want to help me. They really did want to see me succeed, they just weren't going to do the work for me. The perfect example of this is that I did not know anything about iBooks or iBook authors when I started. All I knew is that iBook was a program on the iPad that you could read a book, and I knew how to flip the pages, and that's about it. But now, as I've gone through the course and completed my Project 16 with my group, I have learned way more than I ever thought about iBooks and iBook authors. I have loved it. I wish I could spend even more time working on iBooks this semester, and wish I had spent more time and started closer to the beginning of the semester. But now, as I come to a close, Project 16, the final project, I completed and am proud of it. I'm proud of all the stuff that I was able to figure out, proud of all the widgets that I was able to figure out and create through Bookery. My advice to future EDM3 students is to start your work early. Don't be afraid to set aside the complete 9 hours. You're going to need it, so why not just set it aside? And don't forget about this work. Just because you don't meet in class doesn't mean that this work doesn't go in your planner, it doesn't go on your to-do list, and you just forget about it. You have to remember this course. Start early and set aside time. Don't be afraid to ask. If you have a question, go to lab. The lab is there for your help, even if you just need a quiet place to work on your work, because it motivates you being in lab, you remember to do your EDM work. The lab is there, and it's there for you to use and for you to help. And go in with an open mind. Don't just think that this technology stuff is something that Dr. Strange talks all about and only certain classrooms use it. If you go over to Baldwin County, they're putting the stuff that we use in this classroom right into practice. And it's such a wonderful example. I challenge you to go and sit in on one of the classes, shadow one of the teachers for a day, and you'll see that the work you learn in EDM 310 really is useful and stuff that you're going to be using in future classrooms. I've thoroughly enjoyed EDM 310 and cannot wait to use the many tools that I've learned to use and love in the classroom. Thank you, Dr. Strange, for pushing me to better myself as an individual and as a teacher.